Stephen Speak, Extra Speak. A little more of everything and nothing. Don't forget to subscribe. Hello, welcome to Stephen Speak, Extra Speak, episode 26. I've actually recorded like 50 episodes now of the main podcast, including Extra Speaks, which I think, is quite substantial, Well done if you've listened to them all. You don't get a prize, just get the pride of knowing that you've achieved that level of fandom for me. So thank you. And you have my condolences. 50 episodes is, I'm pleased with that, I've stuck to something for 50 episodes. It's still on a break for the main episodes, but I'm still carrying on with the Extra Speaks. Apologies, this one's a little late today, because it occurred to me that I hadn't recorded it last night. I was tired from work. I've been out and about, and I actually thought it was Tuesday today, if I'm honest with you. But it's Wednesday, so this is like 12 hours late, probably, when it goes out. Anyway, I just want to talk today about, because I've been out and about on the trains and stuff, and public transport in general. I just want to talk about, like, how people hate sitting next to each other on public transport. And I would say that I'm not one of them, but I am. It is, well, I don't mind sitting next to someone, but and in general, I prefer to stand on a train if it's a short journey, because I've not been in a meeting all day, and I actually prefer, it's kind of nice to stand up. Sorry, I just hit my mic again. I need to keep my arm still, have like an extended mic boom. But I generally, traveling to a meeting or traveling to work, I like to sit down. It's normally early in the morning, I'm drinking my coffee, I can chill out on the way. And return home, I don't mind standing. But if you're on a long journey, or it's a leisure thing or something like that, like, a seat is nice, isn't it? Let's face it. But I'm sure you've noticed, people don't like sitting next to each other. When I was at college, I used to travel on the bus every day to get to college, and it was the same on the bus as well. It was like, the bus could be empty, and someone would sit next to me. That was the other problem. But in general, like, it was a small old bus, and you'd literally get, it was like 2-person benches, and there'd be one person on every single bench. But I would seem to get someone sitting next to me. Like, maybe I had a kind face, I don't know. But it was generally a weirdo as well. That was the thing. It was generally someone that was like heavy breathing, or doing something weird, or had loads of bags. That's the other thing. Like, get on with like a million shopping bags, and they'd come and sit next to me, and I'd be like, thanks for that. But we're like weirdly social creatures, but when we travel, we kind of want to be alone. And I don't know whether that's for everyone. I don't know where that comes in, really. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's, is that like a psychological thing? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind sitting next to someone. But you do scan people's faces, don't you? Like, if you're walking down the train aisle and you think, actually, there's a couple of seats up there, you do look at the people that are sat there, don't you? You do. And the thing that really annoys me is people putting the bags on the chairs. Because it's like, you might as well just piss on the chair, hadn't you? Like, let's face it, you're scent marking your area. And I mean, you're not meant to. Like, there is signs up everywhere saying don't put and don't get on at me about baggage on the trains, because you should only travel with certain size bags. People don't know this. I work on the railway, and there is like a standard size bag, which is like cabin size, but no one ever adheres to it, because we don't really enforce it. And but people blocking chairs with bags and backpacks and just paperwork and stuff. And then when you say, "Oh, can I sit here?" and stuff, like, they hate moving their stuff. Like, they hate it. I'm actually quite good. I will put someone on a chair, but only if the train's really, really empty, and I think, well, I'm not really making someone apprehensive to ask me to move something, because people, by being British as well, we're so polite that if someone's got a bag on a chair, we think, oh, well, they've got the bag on that chair, the bag deserves a chair. And we're quite tentative at asking people, or we're the other way, and we just go, you shouldn't have your chair on that fucking bag, you shouldn't have your chair on that bag, you shouldn't have your bag on that chair. And that's probably how it would come out if I got angry. I'd mix up my words up. But we kind of like go aggressive, I think, sometimes, or like weirdly like patronizing do know the rule about having bags on chairs. We use that voice as well, apparently. Yeah, but I used to go on the bus to college, as I've said, and I was quite lucky because I used to get on the bus quite early, so I normally got a seat, even though it was only a small bus. And it was never normally that busy, so you very rarely had people sitting next to you on the way. So it was kind of a nice journey to college if the bus ever bloody turned up. I missed it probably like a third of the time because either it never turned up or it was cancelled. And then I'd have to walk into town and get the main one. And that was the one where I'd normally have people sat with me, people doing early morning shopping and such like. And the return journey was always full of school kids because I couldn't get the same bus home because it wasn't, they only ran once an hour. It was a right pain in the arse basically using a bus to get to college. And it's a little bit different on a bus, I think, because people are it's quite on and off, but train stations are further apart. So, in general, on some lines, you do get like local stops and stuff, but the trains I normally get are like 20 minutes between each station. So you've got to pick your seat wisely, I think. But say you do scan people's faces. I say though, you do walk down the aisle and you do look at people. And sometimes that like the one person that smiles at you. I think this is why maybe people sit next to me because I can't help but just like, even if they look mental, I can't help but give them a nice smile, like, oh, inviting smile. And that's probably why people sit next to me, to be honest, because I'm too nice and I can't just go, fuck off. I can't use a fuck off face. I have to use like a, oh, hello, there's an empty seat here kind of face. Would you like to sit next to me? Even though I really don't want them to. In fact, that's not even the case. The mental ones, I shouldn't say mental, should I? Being politically correct. You know, the ones that look like they're going to be a problem, smelly people, and that's terrible to say as well, but you do get them. I'm sorry. You know, people do have body odor problems, and I do normally get the person that wants to talk to you. And I very much like listening to music or audio books and stuff when I'm traveling. I like to be in my own little world. I've always been the same. Even since I was a kid, used to like personal stereo, and I hate people interrupting me. So I always get the person as well that is the one that wants to sit and talk to you, especially if they see I've got a uniform on as well. Sometimes I have my uniform on or some branded clothes for my job. And, oh, do you work on the railway? Oh, do you know when the next train such and such is? The only thing is I normally do as well. That's the thing that annoys me about that question. A lot of things are annoying me today. I just think it's really weird. Like, do you mind sitting next to people when you go on the train? That's the thing. Would you give up your seat as well? That's another thing that people don't do anymore, isn't it? That's another thing that seems to be an erroneous thing that's disappeared through time. Like, no one seems to be willing to say, actually, would you like to sit here? Because you look like you acquire the seat more than I do. It seems like the thing is now I've paid my ticket, this is my chair. Which is sad, really. It's just sad. It's like you don't see people, or rarely see it. Maybe I'm just traveling on the wrong trains, but you rarely see it nowadays where someone will give up the seat. I'm sure that still exists. I hope it does. I wouldn't like to think that, you know, society has got to that level where someone infirm or needy would require a seat and someone wouldn't give it up for them. But yeah, I was just thinking it's really weird. Traveling on the trains last few weeks, it has been noticed where the trains have been super busy and people have been stood up everywhere, but it's only really because they won't sit next to other people. I think if everyone had a seat, the trains would be full, but there wouldn't be people standing up everywhere. And it just intrigues me, that whole thing about why are we so against sitting next to people, especially when we're so insular as well. Because a lot of people, you're not going to speak to the person. It's not that you're going to sit down next to someone and speak to them. I think it's the fear. I think it must be that imposing fear where you know you're not going to do anything dodgy, but are they going to start speaking to you? Are they going to start trying to get out and go to the toilet? Or if you need to set your stuff up, are they then going to disturb you? I think that's more what it is. It's like a selfish thing. I can't sit there because they will disturb me. And you're just making that presumption. Is that right? I don't know. I just like standing up sometimes on the train. I don't sit down deliberately. And maybe that's what people are doing as well. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe people are akin to me. Who knows? There's a thought for the day. Why do people not sit next to each other on trains and public transport? Because you have no choice on a plane, do you? You allocate your seat. If you sat next to Mr. Odd, you're stuck for an hour. Or however long your flight is, obviously. Yeah, it just made me think the last few weeks on traveling on the trains quite a lot. You know, it's reminded me from my bus traveling days, my regular train traveling days as well. But yeah, there you go. There's Stephen Speak this week. As intellectually taxing as usual, and food for thought as well. These are the cutting edge issues of our time. Obviously, there's no war going on or massive tax hikes and cost of living crisis. I'm interested in why people don't sit next to each other. I always said I wasn't going to get political, so I'll try not to. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to do probably at some point one of my extra speaks is going to be an update only, like just to give you an idea of what's going on. So I won't say anything more about that now. I'll post some stuff to social media as I'm going, but yeah, my Stephen Speaks regular episode should hopefully commence mid-November if I get everything sorted. And if I don't get everything sorted, then I might just have to start them and improve along the way. And because I do miss not doing them, to be honest. Dude, this is probably why this is already 11 minutes long. Right, anyway, I'm going to bugger off, and I'll leave you all in peace. Thank you very much for listening. Take care of yourself, and don't forget to send me some messages on social media, at Stephen Speak PC. Cheers. You've been listening to Stephen Speak Extra Speak. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe.